to minimize the loss of the customer and the company due to the wrong installations. The given material should be studied thoroughly and applied in the field. Brazing process and contents are as follows. Brazing preparation, working environment and dressing, nitrogen gas release, welder setting, gas pressure adjustment, gas leakage test, flame size control, heating and solder approach, emergency action, inspection and welding defects, closing of welding, safety instructions. Tools and gauges should match local regulations and standards. Gas cylinder of propane, oxygen, and nitrogen. Reversed fire protector, pressure regulator and gauge and hoses for each gas. Welding torch, mirror, igniter, tip cleaner, spanner, nipper, long nose, screwdriver, fire extinguisher, firefighting water, fireproof mat, gloves, additional sleeves, protective goggles, welding apron, safety shoes, helmet, soap bubble, brush, pipe cutter, deburring tool, and pipe expander. Prepare pipes and connectors of proper thickness with no foreign materials inside. For welding straight pipe, use sockets, elbows. Soft pipes of below 19.05 millimeters can use sockets and elbows or expanded pipes. For expansion, use exclusive tools and follow these. Expanded length of the pipe should be more than 10 millimeters, and the gap between pipes for insertion is 0.1 millimeters. After pipe cutting, remove burrs for good insertion and welding. As the brazing can be dangerous, check the nearby area and safety instruments, preparation, etc. before work. Overheated pipe or flame can make fire and explosions. Remove all these materials in the working spot. Separate and cover the inflammables like oil, wood, paint, cloth, interior wiring, etc., and explosive materials. Prepare fire extinguishers and firefighting water nearby. Prepare suitable working uniforms and wearings like helmet, protective goggles, welding apron, additional sleeves, gloves, safety shoes, etc. Be sure these wearings do not disturb welding work. Suitable uniforms and wearings ensure safe welding work. Always release nitrogen gas into the pipe during the brazing to prevent oxidizing. It will result in capillary tube and evaporator clogging, compressor break, etc. Connections can be like these. Align the nitrogen pressure regulator to the connector of cylinder correctly and fix it clockwise and finish with a spanner. Align the gas hose to the nut of the ball gauge correctly and fix it with a hose band. Connect the other side to the pipe for welding and tape it not to leak gas. Make the gas flow out through the other side of that pipe. Assemble the welder in the following process. Install the cylinders of oxygen and propane gas on an exclusive carrier and fix it with chains tightly, not to fall down. Align the oxygen pressure regulator to the connector of oxygen cylinder correctly and fix it clockwise and finish with a spanner. Align the propane pressure regulator to the connector of propane cylinder correctly and fix and finish it counterclockwise. Align the reversed fire protector to the propane pressure regulator correctly and fix and finish it counterclockwise. Be sure to install the reversed fire protector as it protects the reversed gas flow or reversed fire. Connect red hose to the propane cylinder and green hose to the oxygen cylinder. Align the red hose to the reversed fire protector correctly and fix and finish it counterclockwise. Align the green hose to the oxygen pressure regulator correctly and fix and finish it clockwise. Again, connect both hoses to the welding torch. Align the red hose to the lower connector of the torch correctly and fix and finish it counterclockwise. Again, align the green hose to the upper connector of the torch correctly and fix and finish it clockwise. Adjust the gas pressures like these. Open the nitrogen cylinder valve slowly clockwise and adjust to 2 kilograms of force per square centimeter or 0.2 megapascals. And open the flow valve slowly and adjust the gas amount to 3 to 5 liters per minute to flow into the pipe. This low pressure will move a flame slightly only. Open the oxygen cylinder valve and open oxygen valve of the torch about 90 degrees and open the regulator valve clockwise slowly and adjust the pressure to 0.4 to 0.5 megapascals or 4 to 5 kilograms of force per square centimeter, and close the torch valve. Open the propane cylinder valve and open propane valve of the torch about 90 degrees. And open the regulator valve clockwise slowly and adjust the pressure to 0.04 to 0.05 megapascals or 0.4 to 0.5 kilograms of force per square centimeter, and close the torch valve. After assembling the welder, confirm the gas leakage for every connection, pressure gauge and valve with soap bubbles and water, etc. As the gas is very dangerous, leakage test is an important process. In welding, there are three kinds of welding flames: oxidizing, carbonizing, and neutral flames. When the oxygen amount is more than the needed, it becomes oxidizing flame, and less one makes carbonizing flame. The neutral flame is suitable for welding, and its composition is 4.5 oxygen to 1.0 propane gas. To make a neutral flame, open the propane valve about 30 degrees counterclockwise. Face the torch about 45 degrees downward and light a fire with an igniter. Open the oxygen valve slowly counterclockwise and adjust the flame holding it not to fly out from the tip. The flame color changes to blue with three ranges of outer, inner, and white cone flames. Make the white cone flame size to 15 to 30 millimeters, and then it becomes the neutral flame, good for brazing. In welding, we can make it horizontally and vertically. Horizontal welding process is like these. Place the white flame about 5 to 10 millimeters away from the connecting point. Make flame direction about 30 degrees downward, and heat the welding point evenly, moving from inner pipe to outer pipe and to connecting point. The pipe color will change from orange to mild pink, which means about 600 to 800 degrees Celsius. Approach that white cone flame to the welding point in 85 to 90 degrees slant, and approach a solder to that point in 45 degrees slant from opposite side, holding it about 200 millimeters high. At this time, moving the solder up and down will help good welding. Draw the flame out, passing over the inserted pipe part. After 2 to 3 seconds of the flame removal, remove the solder. For the bigger pipes, brazing can be made by approaching solder to the connecting point and moving flame and solder down together. And draw flame toward inserted part to guide melted solder and finish welding. After welding, close the nitrogen-releasing valve only when the pipe heat is cooled down sufficiently. Vertical welding is for the vertical connected pipes, and the process is a little different from the horizontal one. Approach that white cone flame to the welding point in 45-degree slant, and approach a solder to that point in 45-degree slant from opposite side, holding it close of about 200 millimeters. Draw the flame out, passing over the inserted pipe part. After 2 to 3 seconds of the flame removal, remove the solder too. For the bigger pipes, brazing can be made by approaching solder to the connecting point and moving flame and solder down together. And draw flame toward inserted part to guide melted solder and finish welding. After welding, close the nitrogen-releasing valve only when the pipe heat is cooled down sufficiently. When trouble occurred by a welding tip problem during welding, follow these guidelines. If the tip is overheated, immediately close propane valve of the torch first and oxygen valve next to prevent counter fire flow, and opening the oxygen valve about 90 degrees. Dip the torch into the water to cool down. If the tip is deformed or clogged by touching welding pipe or foreign material, immediately close oxygen valve of the torch first and propane valve next to prevent counter gas flow. In this case, change the welding tip certainly. Inspect the brazing status carefully. Check if it has any defect, if the connected both pipes are aligned, etc. If needed, you can use a mirror. In gas brazing, the major defects are like these. Undercut is the pipe deformation by a long heating before the solder applying. Solder deficit is the case that the solder is not filled fully. Pinhole occurs by the foreign materials on the welding surface. When the heat is not enough and solder is applied, it makes overlap on the pipe surface. Additional shocks and forces just after the welding or during the welding will make these cracks. Be careful not to make these defects, which are frequently happening during the brazing. After finishing all jobs, reset the welder for worker safety and tool's life. First, close the valve of nitrogen cylinder and release the left gas in the hose and adjusting valve by opening the ball valve of air mount adjusting. Confirm gauge handle shows 0 and close adjusting valves counterclockwise. Second, Close the valves of propane and oxygen cylinders and release the left gas in the hose and adjusting valve by opening the two valves of the torch. Confirm gauge handle shows 0 and close adjusting valves counterclockwise. And clean all tools, materials, and environment and reset them. For the safety, follow these things carefully in welding. Don't forget to install a reversed fire protector to prevent reversed fire or gas flow. Gas cylinders should have the inspection pass mark within the effective date and have no rust on it. Always place the torch on working table and not to touch oil or grease. Gas cylinder cannot be thrown or fallen down. Keep the gas cylinders in a good air circulation and avoid direct sunlight. Always keep the fire extinguishers and fireproof water nearby. Open the propane valve first to ignite and oxygen valve next. Do not use matches or small lighters for ignition. For moving, use the exclusive handling vehicle.